Okay, so for this week's discussion post, we are talking about common sense and the Declaration of Independence and the similarities and differences between the two arguments, especially as they relate to why America should have independence. So, in Common Sense and the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Paine and Thomas Jefferson both argue that America had become a distinct cultural identity from the British and therefore should be a distinct political entity. But they approach this argument through slightly different rhetorical and philosophical ways. Paine, for example, appeals to sort of morality and emotion and the practicality of the United States or America being an independent nation, whereas Jefferson grounds his case and the rhetoric that is used in the Declaration of Independence is very much about natural rights and the legal justification for why America should be an independent nation. So Paine highlights that America is culturally distinct from Britain, that just by the nature of sort of separation and the diversity that exists in America, that it is a separate culture and therefore should be a separate country. So because of that immigrant diversity in America, they should also have an independent political organization. So he says Europe and not England is the parent country of America, basically arguing that, yes, England was sort of the political overlord of this country, but that actually these people are coming from all over Europe and therefore are a distinct organization of people, and the political structure should mirror that. So he argues for the impracticality of continued imperialism and rejects British sovereignty in the colonies, particularly in the form of a monarchy, as a violation of the rights of Americans who should be able to practice self-determination by just the nature of them being geographically and culturally independent from the British. Whereas Jefferson frames the American identity, yes, he sort of argues, if not in the Declaration of Independence and other writings, that the United States or America is an independent culture, sort of similar to Paine. But more, he deals with this issue of natural rights for that concept of self-determination. So he frames American identity within sort of those universal principles of natural rights and justice, through that assertion of all men are created equal and therefore have the inherent right to popular sovereignty, kind of to create a social contract in which their political organization is developed. And therefore, if there is a violation of that contract, which is what Jefferson argues in the Declaration of Independence, that the political organization should be changed. So he argues that Americans were forged into one people and one culture through those abuses and usurpations on the part of the British, thereby creating a unified national will. So Paine appeals to sort of practicality and fairness and that cultural aspect, whereas Jefferson very much focuses on Enlightenment philosophy and, again, those abuses on the part of the British Crown.